Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inside the Newsroom. I'm Maddie Paul, and behind me is our live camera from Lake Madison. I thought it would work today because it looks like a little bit icy. It's a little bit cooler outside. We're going into a little bit of a cooler weekend, so I'm preparing for it. And it just kind of looks pretty. I thought it was nice. You can see all our live cameras on KELOLAND.com if you go to our weather section and just look for live cam. But this is Inside the Newsroom. We bring you the trending stories of the KELOLAND area, and we bring on our newsroom staff members to talk about those trending stories. They just happen to be the same stories that you see every day on our newscasts and online at KELOLAND.com. We have a lot of interesting perspectives to get to today with a lot of trending stories. But I think the first one on the mind of our newsroom comes with the legislative session for this year. You know, South Dakota's upcoming legislative session will kick off in just a matter of days. Governor Larry Roden's State of the State address will take place on the first legislative day. And Dan Santella found out what 4 lawmakers in leadership roles want to hear from the governor.
Finances and voters' ability to pay their bills have the attention of legislative leaders as the State of the State address approaches.
I think that the affordability issue, or you could call it the affordability crisis, is just really hitting home right now, all across the United States. And it's something that we can also relate to here in South Dakota as it gets harder and harder to make ends meet for families, for working families. And I just think we need to approach all of our legislative work with that in mind.
I want to hear an update on what's happening, mostly with finances. I'm interested in the budget. Is there any updated numbers? I want to know what is important from the federal government that's happening. We know that some of the funding is changing.
I want to hear from the governor about Medicaid. We heard from him in the state budget address that Medicaid was something that we just can't touch on this year. But I want to hear him reinforce that because I'm hearing from so many South Dakotans that insurance is just so unaffordable.
Dollars and cents have lawmakers' attention every session. What might make the 2026 edition somewhat unique is how electoral politics impact legislative politics. Notable names are seeking voters' approval later this year.
It's always interesting when the governor gives the State of the State address and he's a candidate, because then oftentimes there's some proposals and some new ideas and programs that they want to start and do those kinds of things and announce those at the State of the State. I just want to hear a good story, a good diagnosis of the state.
And Dan Santella joins us at the digital desk now to talk more about this story. Dan, I want to start off by saying just something I noticed. You barely speak in this package. If you do, it's kind of just for transitional purposes. Why do you want to leave that free time in the story for all these lawmakers to speak?
Because the story is their perspectives, and the story was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
What do you want to hear from the governor at the State of the State address? There you go. I asked it. They answered. Here are their thoughts. So I don't need a whole lot of me gabbing, I guess, because, you know, keep it straightforward to the point, and get the information across. And so that's why I organized it like that.
Yeah, and every answer that was featured from these lawmakers in the story were kind of different from the other. Was that surprising to you? Did you go into these interviews with that same question for each interview?
The same question. And, you know, and they, you know, so how it started was Kyle Ireland, who produces our 6 o'clock show every day, organized and set up our Inside KELOLAND, of course, which airs every Saturday and Sunday. And we had those 4 lawmakers on. Liz Larson pictured there, one of them, and there's Chris Carr. And we wanted to also then, well, let's air something today as well. Ask a couple extra questions, or just one in this case, and get their answers there and have that publish and air on Thursday in our 6 o'clock news that's going to air tonight. That's what we were thinking. Like, wow, that's a good idea. So we did that. So when we were recording Inside KELOLAND, we also I just took the lawmakers aside and said, hey, can I also ask you about the State of the State? They said, sure. We did. And we recorded those, and then we put the story together.
Were you surprised by answers just for this specific story?
No, I mean, we know that affordability is going to be a concern. We know it's a slightly tighter budget year, and we know property taxes are a huge topic in South Dakota right now. And then, you know, looming over all these legislative considerations or electoral considerations. Greg Jamieson, one of the people we heard from that story, he is running for Sioux Falls mayor.
Yes.
We have 4 GOP candidates vying for that party's nomination for the governorship. including Larry Roden, hoping to stay in the office, and John Hanson, and Toby Doden, and Dusty Johnson, our only representative in the U.S. House in D.C. Vying for that spot is another state lawmaker, Casey Crabtree, and competing against him for that is our Attorney General in South Dakota right now, Marty Jackley, right? So a lot of bigger names. And then also on top of that, there's 105 seats in the South Dakota State Legislature. All 105 are up for election this year.
Right.
Right. So that is in the background of every lawmaker and peer. Like, if I want to stay in this seat or if I want to run, and get voter support, well, it's only a matter of months to the primary now, you know. So electoral politics will loom large over legislative politics and peer. They do consistently, but I think this year it's an especially notable detail.
We're almost running out of time, but I just want to mention that these 4 lawmakers will be joining you, again, as you already said, for an episode upcoming of Inside KELOLAND that's focused on the legislative session. So what can our viewers expect from that episode?
We have about 2 7-minute segments, one with the GOP, one with the Democrats. Sat down, we talked about their expectations for the state of the state, how they see the legislative session unfolding, bigger topics that have their concern. Talked about education. So a couple of longer form segments where we heard from Chris Carr and Greg Jamieson, one from the Republicans, and then with the Dems, Aaron Healy and Liz Larson. And then you spoke with Bob Mercer a few days ago, and that conversation with him that you had, this will be part of that as well. And then it's all legislative focus, so it's going to air, as it were, tomorrow morning, and then also Sunday night after the late local news.
Yay.
So
thank you for saying where those airing options will be. And everyone, stick around for more on Inside the Newsroom. We will be right back after the break. And welcome back to Inside the Newsroom. We just heard Dan Centella talk about the upcoming State of the State address for the upcoming legislative session that starts on January 13th. But I want to reiterate something that I've talked about previously in an episode of Inside the Newsroom this week, and it's that KELOLAND News offers a special webpage dedicated to the upcoming legislative session on KELOLAND.com. In fact, here on this webpage, you can follow the latest developments from the state capitol during the 2026 legislative session from the eyes and ears of our reporters. If you just go to KELOLAND.com, search for our news tab, which is up in this left corner, you can see that South Dakota legislative session tab right there. Click on it, it will take you to this webpage. Here we have our dedicated stories that we have been creating from 2026, leading up to the start of the legislative session. And then once we start really reporting on it, once it actually starts on the 13th, you will see these stories come here. It will start off with a video, one of the latest videos. And of course, all the stories will be listed right here for you to click and view. And then again, another page to take you to all of those stories. We also have some of the previous years. If you scroll further down on the webpage, it's about right here. We have 2025, 2024, and I believe we have 2023. Yes, all of those right there from past legislative sessions that you can view and see. We even have some information about why this exists, the state legislature each time, what the Senate and the House do, and even an example of what a bill looks like. This is a great resource to use as you start seeing more news coming from the KELOLAND news station about the legislative session. I highly recommend coming to this webpage to just become familiar about what we've been previewing so far so that you can be prepared for January 13th once that really kicks off and we have team coverage of that session. But stick around for more on Inside the Newsroom. Coming up next, we're hearing about a mother's warning for this flu season. Stay with us. And welcome back to Inside the Newsroom. The South Dakota Department of Health has reported nearly 4,000 influenza cases since October. 2 people in Minnehaha County with the virus have died. Carly Phillips introduces us to one Wagner, South Dakota mom who knows about the deadly effects of the virus all too well.
The walls of Bethany Drapo's home are filled with photos.
She came over and gave me a hug and we took a picture.
Her home also holds memories of her daughter, Amaya.
She liked to do puzzles, put on makeup, she liked to dance.
Easter was Amaya's favorite holiday.
Even after Easter, she would want to do an Easter egg hunt. So I always tried to make it a special for her.
Not long after an Easter gathering in 2017, Amaya came down with the flu. Bethany says the illness infected Amaya's kidneys and she developed pneumonia and sepsis and was flown to a Sioux Falls hospital.
Within 12 hours of being there, she passed away.
Amaya was just 4 years old when she died. She had not gotten her flu shot that year.
I always think, could that have saved her? Would she still be here if she was vaccinated? Because there's a lot of studies that show the flu is less severe when you're vaccinated.
Her siblings are left wondering too, imagining what life would look like if their sister was still alive.
Get to play sports together, and yeah, I think a lot of stuff would be different.
Amaya's mom now makes it a priority to make sure her family is vaccinated, and she hopes that by sharing Amaya's story, it will encourage others to do the same.
And Carly Phillips joins us at the digital desk now to talk more about this important story. Carly, it's interesting how you start this story. You're describing the walls of the home filled with photos and memories of Amaya. And why did you want to start the story off this way? Why was that important?
Well, the first thing I kind of noticed when I got to their house to shoot the story was that she had all these pictures of her family on the wall. And so kind of right when I got into the house, the gears started turning a little bit for me for how I wanted to kind of shape the story. So I knew that, I wanted to start the story with something to do with the walls and the pictures. So making sure that I got shots and videos of that was something I wanted to do.
It worked for me as a viewer. It took me in the shoes of the mom, Bethany, and I felt very sympathetic immediately remembering Amaya through everything. And I don't think this story revealed Amaya's unfortunate death until about 30 seconds to 1 minute in. You really built up her life in that memory. What kind of tone did you want to establish for this story? Was it something serious or sad, hopeful? What was your goal?
I think for sure starting the story off, letting viewers know who Amaya was as a person. And, I feel like then you kind of develop a little bit more of a connection. And then hearing the actual impact of what happened, unfortunately, to Amaya and her family, I think that just makes the story a lot stronger in the end to kind of have that connection built up. And then maybe that effect of that story is a little bit stronger at the end.
Was there a particular shot or moment from the interviews that you found yourself building the story around?
I think for me, I know the mom had the earrings on of her daughter. And I think that was really, when you're sitting there listening to the interview, but then also seeing that, has Amaya with her during this interview. I think that was really strong because, she's in basically every shot of this story because that was just, a big part of it.
Right. The story is remembering her and that life and this awareness that the mom wants to spread. Was there a moment during the interview with the family members where something within the story angle kind of deepened for you or you really understood where you were going to go with the story angle?
I think for me, it was when Bethany, Amaya's mother, she said she wishes, she could go back and do something differently. But I think that to hear that and her recognizing that was a really big part. And for her being willing to share a story like this, I feel like that's not something a lot of people would come forward and do. And so I knew that capturing that moment in the story was important to show that this is something she's passionate about and she really does want to bring awareness.
What do you hope viewers take away from a story like this?
I think, when it comes to stories, when you hear from officials, I think that can definitely bring awareness to a subject, but then hearing it from a different angle. So in this case, instead of hearing from a doctor about the flu, hearing it from a mom who's felt the effects. It's just kind of a different angle to hear about a really big topic like that. And sometimes, it can be more impactful too.
I agree. I think it really worked for me, and I appreciate that perspective. And thank you for creating this story and sharing the details here at the Digital Desk, Carly. And everyone, stick around for more Inside the Newsroom. We'll be right back after the break. And welcome back to Inside the Newsroom. We have a special treat. Because Scott did his homework.
Yeah.
You got lucky.
Procrastinated a little bit, right? Well, it's just, typical me, I guess.
Okay, so here's context for people who haven't seen Inside the Newsroom. When did we bring this up? Like 2 days ago?
Probably 3.
Yeah, so earlier this week.
Tuesday. I want to say it was Tuesday.
I was thinking it was Tuesday too. Scott mentioned a memory of back in 2008 of a mishap.
No, it was.
That happened in the studio during a weather segment.
This was about 10 years ago.
10 years ago?
I think so.
Oh, I thought you said 2008. Maybe you said 2008.
No, I said maybe. On Tuesday, I said maybe it was 8 years ago.
Okay.
So I didn't say 2008, but you're right. There was an 8 in there.
Okay, there was an 8.
Yep.
See, I can kind of remember.
I think it's from, actually, I think the video's from 2017.
Oh, wow. Okay, so this is a video of Scott's mishap during a segment of weather during a newscast. We talked about it before, and he found the video proof. I haven't seen this video. So, viewers, you and I together will be watching this for the first time. Let's see what happened.
Well, good morning, KELOLAND. I'm meteorologist Scot. It's a cold start to the morning. Temperatures are in the single digits, both above and below zero. Right. We have below zero readings across north central South Dakota with 7 below in Mobridge. It's 0 in Aberdeen. We have 10 in, we have 10 degrees in Pierre, 10 degrees in Chamberlain.
Wait, was that it? Oh, I thought it would be on camera.
That was the ring hitting the ground.
Viewers, did you hear that? So yeah, Scott has this. What happened was, you tell it, Scott. You tell it. It's your story.
Well, I always, and I still do, kind of fidget with my wedding ring, and I had a habit of that. I don't know if it's a habit anymore because of what happened here, but I was playing with the wedding ring as I was making the transition from the weather desk to the weather wall, and then you hear the ding, ding.
Yeah.
And when it fell off, it fell obviously straight down and then straight back up. I think it did it twice because here it goes ding, ding,
ding.
And then the second, I think the first time it hit, went up, I was like, oh.
Let's see it again.
And then it went back down and came up, and then I grabbed it.
That's the cool part. You just boom, grab it back. Quick thinking, but you see, you're so smiling when you come on the weather.
Oh, yeah.
It's both above and below zero. We have below zero readings across north central South Dakota with 7 below in Mobridge. It's 0 in Aberdeen. We have 10 in, we have 10 degrees in Pierre, 10 degrees in Chamberlain, 0
see him putting it on.
in Rapid City, 9 in Mitchell, 5 degrees in Huron. It's 8
you're walking out. You're like, all right.
And then wind chills.
Yeah, no, let it keep playing. Let it keep going.
Below 0 as well, -7 in Mobridge, -10 in Pierre, -2 in Rapid City, -11 in Brookings, and -13 in Watertown. We have -4 for that wind chill in Sioux Falls. This is Future Scan. Oh, I need to catch my breath. You heard that noise. That was my ring that fell off my finger.
Now, if you just missed it, Scott Munt was trying to do his weather this last time, and his ring came flying. Yeah, his ring came flying off and hit the ground in the middle of it.
Is this like a talkable or something?
This is the next weather hit.
Making all this noise, and now I'm just laughing because I'm expecting that to happen every time you do the weather.
I just think he's more nervous, right? To lose the ring. I think he was.
Is
more
it on there tight? Is it on there tight now?
No,
it's okay, Melanie. We got it.
I just have a habit of sometimes playing with it. And
just came flying off.
We forgive you.
That over to the weather wall.
Well, viewers couldn't see. He caught that.
I did see. It was actually pretty skilled.
He caught it on the first bounce.
It's like playing shortstop all over again.
Yeah. Gosh, you never know when
Put him in, Coach.
Come in handy.
Oh, I may not have a job tomorrow, but I'm having fun today.
That's incredible.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I mean, I have a job tomorrow, but I do today. Scott Munt.
And I think I ended up.
What would you do then?
I ended up losing that ring at a wedding. I did. And the next day, I'm like doing this. What? Sometimes when I do things around the house, I take it off. I'm using my hands or whatever. I'll take it off and put it on like my keychain. So I'm like, what happened to it? I check my keychain. It's not there. And I'm thinking, oh boy, Melanie, I can't find my ring. I think I lost it. She, to her credit, very calm about it. Yeah, that's okay. There are worse things that can happen. So what ended up happening is we went and got another ring.
Okay.
Okay. End of the story. The original ring was found.
Where was it?
And somebody found it at the wedding and turned it in.
Oh, that's good. Yay, people. Wait, I have a pause for this. Yay.
So this one
The current one?
Yeah, the one that I have on right now. This is the second one.
Okay.
Because the other one, obviously, it's too big.
Oh, I
Yep.
see.
It was a lot more loose, or is it loose or looser?
Yeah, sure.
More loose than this one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and yeah,
Easier to fidget then.
Right.
Stay on.
Well, and I had lost some weight too. So
Yep.
it's
Yep.
just
You should get one of those. They have rings where like you can.
it sets an alert
fidget.
tone when it's
No,
off your finger.
it's like a fidget, like an actual fidget.
That's but it's a good one. If you could get a ring, it sets an alert tone when it's off the finger, then it could like send that alert to the spouse. How's that for an idea?
You and your ideas on Inside the Newsroom. We're coming full circle. I think we started this week with you and your grand idea about the burger battle coupons. And now here we are with your ring ideas. Gosh, Scott Munt the Almighty, he can do it all. Think of anything.
Well, somebody's going to grab that one and run with it. You're welcome.
Well, you grabbed your ring. So I thought when you said it, you were going to be on camera, like grabbing the ring or something like that too.
Sorry to disappoint.
That was a little disappointing. But that's the
Sorry.
sound of the ring just bouncing on the floor. Ding, like.
Yeah, I think it did bounce twice. The first one I was more I'm like going, oh my gosh. But it just bounced straight up. It was like the Lord of the Rings, like slow motion when the thing's like falling through the air, hits again, and I'm like, I better do something.
You
so
should
I just
make an
scooped
edit
it.
of that. Oh wait, but we don't see the ring. But you could still make an edit of it with the Lord of the Rings music behind it. I see the vision. I see
That'll
the
be
vision.
great.
Well, hey, we gotta do a Boredom Busters episode together, Scott Munt. You're making a little special feature.
Is that for this show or for Boredom Busters?
For Boredom Busters.
Okay.
By the way, everyone, Boredom Busters tonight at 5:30, KELOLAND Plus.
I better go prep and get psyched up.
Get your ring ready. Go get the other one.
This one's doing a good job staying on.
Well, that's all the time that we have today for Inside the Newsroom. We had to end the week with a special clip from Scott Munt, of course. Right?
Sounds good to me.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for Boredom Busters tonight at 5:30, only here on KELOLAND Plus. And until next time, have a good weekend, everybody.
Wave time.
Wave time. Waving.